pregnancy update. I am going to be filling you in on how week 22 went, particularly my specialist appointment. And by the time you're seeing this, I will be 23, probably close to going on 24 weeks. We'll see how long it takes me to edit. It's been a little bit of a learning curve switching things over to my iPad, so I have a lot of pancakes that I'm making to put into the freezer for quick breakfast because I haven't been doing so well with eating breakfast lately, and so I'm going to be standing here for a while. I'll just fill you in on how things went while I'm doing this. First off, if I haven't made this clear in any of my other videos, one of the complications or potential complications that I'm facing, aside from having Graves' disease and whatever else that might bring with it, is that I have a large, or what I would consider large, intense abdominal scar running from pretty much one side of my abdomen to the other. I got the scar because I was born at the preemie and had bowel issues that needed to be fixed, and so I've had this all of my life. I have never known what it was like to not have the scar. It has caused me some pain as I've been growing, but nothing that was debilitating by any means. It would just feel like the occasional sharp stinging, and so I just never knew what to expect once I got pregnant. What was the scar going to do? Would it be able to handle the amount of stretching that needed to take place? One of the things I've wondered is there any way to know how deep the scar tissue goes? The scar seems to be pretty attached to the outer wall of my abdomen. So I've definitely been able to feel it when I have done intense ab exercises for any length of time. It pulls. A few of the fears I guess I've had is that wondering whether there's a possibility of it tearing, not just, how do I explain this? Like tearing off of that where it's attached to my muscles. Is that going to tear? Is that going to cause internal bleeding? Is, you know, what are the risks of these things happening? Is it high? Is it low? Is it, you know, is it going to be a problem during labor? What if it tears then? And will I need to be rushed into emergency? Is it a very high risk? Or are they going to say that I need a C-section regardless to try to eliminate or avoid those risks? I just had all these different questions, and my OB definitely had her share of concerns too, and so she sent me to the specialist to get those concerns addressed. And so I realized that some of these questions may be totally unfounded. They are just my imagination going wild and not knowing what to expect. But nevertheless, the specialist agreed to look over my case. They did another ultrasound, and mostly to check on the baby at that point. There really didn't seem to be much that they could see with an ultrasound machine in terms of the scar itself. But they could see that, you know, the lining of my uterus still looked really good. The placenta still looked like it was in a really good position. So nothing seemed to be being affected internally by this. My doctor was an older man. He'd been, I guess, doing this for something like 25 years. He'd been in the practice, seen a number of different scenarios, and he just simply took one look at it and came to the conclusion that so long as I hadn't ever experienced intense bowel discomfort or problems as I was growing up. There's no reason to believe that the scar tissue goes super deep, like beyond the muscle wall of my abdomen. So that was encouraging to hear. He also said, if it, like there was really no way to assess the risk of it tearing. He didn't think it would be very high, just simply because it has 8 months to stretch out. It has a considerable amount of time. It's going to happen slowly, and so he really didn't think that risk was very high. Now he also said, and I didn't realize this, but I guess scar tissue like this typically doesn't have a lot of blood flow going to it. And so he said if there were a chance of it tearing severely, by all means I should call my doctor and probably get to a hospital sooner rather than later. But he did say it's not going to just start bleeding out massively. Yes, I would be in a lot of pain and all of that would need to be addressed. But he said as for blood loss being an issue, it likely wouldn't happen very quickly. It would just kind of trickle. He said by all means, like, just if I do think that something has gone wrong, I should not put off calling my doctor or getting to a hospital, but not to be alarmed that I'm going to be losing massive amounts of blood and we're putting the baby at risk at that point. So I'm kind of just going off of that right now. He said there should be no reason for me to have, at least at this point, there should be no reason for me to think that I'll need a C-section. This means that I've been cleared for a vaginal delivery, and so long as my OB is comfortable with it, I can deliver at the smaller community hospital that I've been seeing her at, rather than having to be transferred to a larger hospital where they could potentially take on an emergency procedure if needed. Yeah, not a lot of exciting news, I guess, but relieving. This is just, this whole experience is just a lot of first times. So we still don't know what the outcome is going to be in the end, but we do know, at least for now, we've been given the assurance that things should be good to go as normal. I shouldn't need to expect anything other than a normal labor and delivery. Now, the only other thing that could potentially cause complications or difficulties would be if my Graves' disease would spike back up again, and that would cause issues with my blood pressure or preeclampsia, preterm labor. Those things are still a possibility, I guess, but right now they don't look very high whatsoever. My endocrinologist has been super good about staying on top of me getting blood work done every month, and just really monitoring that closely. Every doctor and nurse that I've spoken to so far says that my thyroid numbers look good, even though by my estimation they appear to be a bit on the low side. But nobody has voiced any alarming concern over that at all. Except this isn't going to make as much as I thought it would. A little bit disappointing, but... So other than that, things have been going fairly well, I would say. Last week was a bit of a emotional week. I have been experiencing some insomnia, which hasn't been helping with my frame of mind. And I definitely had a bit of a meltdown on Saturday after just having a horrible night's sleep. Hoping very much that this week is off to a little bit of a better start with that. I was speaking to another friend of mine who is much farther along in her pregnancy right now than where I'm at, but she remembers going through about the same stage where I'm at now, where she was experiencing some similar just backaches and a lot of emotional ups and downs, and insomnia as well. And so I'm hoping, according to her testimony, that this is just going to be a very brief spell, and within the next couple of weeks or so I should be feeling maybe a little bit more stable. For now, I'm just trying to just enjoy the movement, the kicks, and the punches. It's such a neat feeling to just have this tiny human forming and moving inside of you, and to try to describe it, yeah, I'm just in awe. It is just a very, very neat thing to experience, and I never knew if I would get this opportunity, and the Lord has allowed me to come this far, and I'm really, really looking forward to meeting this little one. My husband and I are just so excited and can't wait. I am not gonna lie, I was expecting to be standing here a lot longer because I thought I was gonna get like twice the amount. But note to self, I think I made the batter a little bit too thick in the beginning. I should have added more milk or water, and probably made some of these first ones a little too big. Oh well. Alright, pancakes are ready to go in the freezer. Set aside a couple for tomorrow's breakfast. And I think that is going to be the conclusion of today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I realize these updates are probably not super exciting, but I for one am just thankful that they're not super exciting. I'm thankful for how smoothly things have gone so far, and that the Lord has just been giving me just a lot of peace of mind with all of the information that we've been getting along the way, the help from doctors, and even just the friendly nursing staff that I've come across. It's just all been just very helpful. Thanks again for watching. Catch you later. I have a lot of pancakes to make. So I figured wow, I just made a mess. Very warm. I may need an outfit change yet. This is one very squirmy, active baby.